Hi, I'm John. Thanks for tuning in. I'm talking right now about the phrase, there is no outside of the text. I'm not a big supporter of that viewpoint or that ideology on several different levels. First and foremost, I think it oversteps and overplays the idea of text in terms of its applications and functions to human thought. It seems as though, to me at least, that when using the word text in that phrase, it's defining all human thought and the connection of signals in relation to each other. And I feel that text is much more of a phenomenon of sharing ideas that we would normally speak through a written code that's agreed upon, the same way words and phrases and lexicon in general are all developed. But instead it takes this idea that instead of thought being translated into language, being translated into text, it skips all of that and just assumes thought and text kind of work together, and the signals that Saussure had thought of seem to just become this absolute blocking point, this complete limiting. And I feel that when you generate thought and then apply words to it, and then that is where text comes from, is the attempt to spread thought more than the attempt to generate and rationalize thought. On another level, though, the deconstructionist point of view, I feel, is very interesting, and I have a lot of respect for the writers in that category, especially Derrida. His work is very interesting to read. It is very thought-provoking, but no matter how much of it I read, at the end of the day, if I turn around and stub my toe, I'm not really caring too much about where the origin of the pain is or where the idea of the pain originally came from before I internalized it. I'm just going to care that my foot hurts now. And I think that deconstructionists tend to come up with a lot of very interesting, thought-provoking ideas that don't carry the same weight in real-world situations. And I think that the idea that there is no outside the text is also taking the analytical concepts to literary criticism and too broadly trying to apply them to real-life situations. And, for example, in the Nietzsche segment that we had been given this week, Nietzsche kind of talks about how language is an agreed-upon vague concept that mankind has developed in order to share ideas and thoughts and dreams and all of that. I think it overplays the idea that this is how we think. I believe that people generate ideas and then in the attempt to share them use language and therefore text in a lot of cases in order to put those ideas forward. But I don't think that text in general is all that we know, all that we can be aware of. I think that there are certain things that leave us speechless and we have no words to describe them. It's just we have to use that vague general term, but it's still there. It's not easy to spread, it's not easy to relate to someone, but that feeling, that uniqueness that is internalized within the word that we use to describe it to someone else. Like when you look at the Grand Canyon, well, not that I've been there, but from what people tell me for the most part, it's breathtaking. It's this glorious new perspective, and it leaves you speechless, and everyone kind of describes it the same way, but it doesn't impact everyone the same way. So I think there's a lot of outside the text, and there's a lot of in the margins sort of behind thinking that to say there is no outside the text, you really steal a lot of that possibility from such potential. This is more of an egotistical based mode of thinking, but as far as the Barthes, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the Death of the Author segment, where we are supposed to look at texts and only look at the text, I think we need to also, when we're criticizing, think about cultural implications, think about life experiences, think about what went into the author's life. And yes, for most criticism, it is important to only look and to support an argument within a text, only within the text. But at the same time, I think that it's unfair to cut authors out of the work and to bereft them of their input to what they've created. I think that in general, the human element and the human attitudes which are attached to language and to writing and to the general processing and putting out of ideas goes far beyond the text, and language does to, in many ways, restrict our ability to share and develop ideas, but at the same time it's the best thing that we have because it's the only way we've developed to share such thoughts and such ideas. So those are my thoughts. Please feel free to give me any feedback on them. I'd be happy to share and talk. And thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.